and I'm going to do a video on GeoGebra, and this is actually pretty neat. I don't really like having this sidebar here. If I need it later, I'll go back and get it. And in order to get it, you just go to here and you go to perspectives, and I can pick graphing and it'll put it in. But like I said, don't really need it right now, so I'm going to just get rid of it. In this video, I'm going to show you some pretty useful functions. If I pick center with circle with center and radius, you can determine how big your circle is. But if you don't want to determine how big your circle is, you can always just do this. And I just pick a point, draw a circle, and there we go. If I want the circle to be smaller, I grab the point and I make it smaller or larger. If I want to move the circle, I grab the center point and move it. If I were to look it up and go to algebra, you can see it gives me the equation of the circle. As I move the circle, the equation changes just like that. So once again, that's kind of useful. If I want to see what these points are, I can say show label and it'll tell me the point, but I don't want to, so I'm going to turn that off. Center point A, this is 0.55. Now, here's what's kind of neat about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a point off the line, or off the circle. I'm going to put it out there. Now, I'm going to pick a segment, and I'm going to pick this point here. I'm going to go to there, and then connect it. I'm going to pick this point here. I'm going to go to there. I'm going to connect it. Now, if we want to find out what the major arc is, or the minor arc, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put a point here, and I am going to give it, oh, I do want to see the label. I'm going to see the label for this one as well. By the way, if you want to see all the labels, there is a way to do it, so you can see all the labels at once. I've just made this much harder than it had to be. So I'm going to say move. Now, you can move the letters wherever you want. Everything else seems to be okay. D is going to come out. C is going to stay around the side. Now, if I want to know the measure of angle ECD, I go to here. I'm just going to click angle. And you click 3 vertices. But here's the catch. You have to go clockwise. And you'll see the angle pops up. 31.33. Here's what's kind of neat about this. I can move this in, I can move it out. I can also find the distance of EC by going to here. Nope, that's not true. Going to here and clicking on distance, I just click on the line. 8.69 and 9.09. Now, I can also, and this is really good, I can also move this here and this here. And now you're going to say, oh, wait a second, now I have 2 secants. Well, if you put that there, and you put this here, you'll see that those dots become black. And the reason why is because they are staying on the actual circle. Now, remember, this value is DC. You can see the whole line lights up. And once again, if I go to algebra, you'll see segment DC equals 10.33. It's a little bit hard to move that. So let's see, show label. Sometimes you can move it around a little bit further. Show label, fixed object. Well, it's gonna be a little bit hard for me to do that. If you want, you can also, I wonder if I can change the color. Change it to blue. See what happens. Blue probably wasn't the best choice. It doesn't matter. Alright. Now, if I want to know this value, HC, I'd go to here again, say distance, and then I'm going to click H and C, and it tells me that that's HC. And the reason why that's useful is because of the segment and the exterior portion of one secant being equal to the segment times the exterior portion of the other secant. So, there's other things we can do with this as well, by the way. If I want to know the angle measures, and this is really useful, I can type in, oh boy, I didn't want to do that. If I want to do the angle measures, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on angle, and like I said before, you have to do things clockwise. So, if I want to do clockwise, I'm going to go H to A to this point. And what that does is it actually gives me this angle here, HA, what is that? J, HAG. And if I want to find the angle of major arc EFD, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go EAD. Now everything's getting kind of messed up. So here's where, I hope you're still watching this video and you haven't given up on me yet. Although I may have given up on myself. Alright, here's what's kind of neat about it. If you go back to here and you pick checkbox and you click this, it'll say caption. So I'm going to say minor arc GH. And then when it asks me what I want, I can say that's beta. So I'm going to click this. Click here, and now when I click it, oops. Remember, you have to go back to move. Go to cancel. When I click here, it goes away. So that's kind of nice because it gets rid of all that stuff. Here, if I want, I'm going to say checkbox. I'm going to say major arc. What was our major arc? EFD. And what did I do? Oh, I picked the OK button. I don't really know what the OK button does. So, major arc, EFD. That's going to be this. I'm going to get rid of that altogether. Delete. And when I click on that, oh no, I clicked the wrong one. I'm going to call this, what is this? ACD. Alright, so what was this? EAD. Alright, let's try this one more time. Major arc, EAD, and the problem is I'm just being lazy is really the biggest problem here. And it's right here. Here's what I wanted. And now when I click it, it'll go away. And that's kind of nice. So you can have the arcs come and go, or the angle measurements come and go as you please. Once again, I don't need to see these anymore, so I'm going to close that out. Make it a little bit bigger. You can move this. And if it doesn't move, click on it and see, it says fixed checkbox. Well, I don't want it fixed. I want it to be able to move. So now I can move it around. I also don't want to see it. I can do the same with this. I can also do the same with the segment lengths. Now, there is one other thing that's very, very useful here. And this was actually what kind of got me into GeoGebra in the first place. I want to know how you could show this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say text. And then I'm just going to say I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to click on here. And now you can see the arc pops up. The arc length pops up. And that's actually really, really useful. Because before, I didn't know how to do that. And if I wanted, I could do the same over here. I could have another text box pop up. And once again, I go to advanced. I click on here. I believe that was alpha. I'm hoping it was alpha 23.55. That sounds about right. Nope, that's not right. Let's see. And once again, I'm being lazy. It was beta. That's what I wanted. I actually wanted beta. If I click on this, I can just change it pretty quickly. Move it to beta. And there we go. I get that. This is useful for students to see and to play around with. You can see that as the arc length is being increased, the other arc length is being increased, but so is this angle, and the students can figure out what the relationships are. And that's kind of it. There's lots of stuff you can do with these. And I'm going to do one last one. Here you can see that this is now tangent. Put a segment to here. And back. And now if I do my angle measure, oh, it's not actually tangent. So you can see when they're pretty close, ends up being about a right angle. There's also something, the attached detach point, and that's kind of useful if you want to detach a point, H, and then detach it. I'm not sure if you can actually. Maybe I can detach B. Anyway, it does come in handy. I'm doing a poor job of it right now. But once again, you can see how all of this comes into play and how you can use these text boxes for different things. Alright, I hope that was useful. Maybe not one of my more